Hello, everyone, and welcome again to the 505 Sports Venture Foundation program. It's coming to you from beautiful downtown Albuquerque in the ProView Studios, high above Central Avenue. We've got Adrian, our producer, behind the screen, President Steve Davis up the stairs, and it's a really cool time to be in New Mexico as we are on the cusp of Lobo basketball starting off. We're going to get to our special guest, someone who will become very familiar to Lobo fans in the immediate future. But before we do that, I'm here again to discuss our fundraising drive. 505 SVF is a nonprofit New Mexico corporation dedicated to promoting student athletes at UNM through the use of their name, image, and likeness. We all heard those terms. What it means is we're promoting UNM. However it works out, the idea is through sponsoring student athletes using their name, image, and likeness, we bring recognition to the student athlete. We retain student athletes. With the transfer portal, the whole game's different, and we recognize them, promoting a great atmosphere at the University of New Mexico. So what we're doing right now is we've started a March to a Million. It's our fundraising drive. We need everyone at UNM who supports UNM, not everyone who supports UNM to come on board. We have levels at $20 a month to $1 million if you have it. So I ask you to check 505sports.org. That's our website, 505sports.org. Go there, help us on this mission, and we'll be back with our special guest in 1 second.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
To part 2 of today's 505 Sports Venture Foundation show. And I'm about to introduce you to someone who is familiar to some diehard fans, but will become very familiar to all Lobo basketball fans. Today, as my guest, I've got Jamal Baker. He will wear number 0 as a Lobo, and he has a very, very interesting story. So before we get to the discussion about this year's team and this season, I want to talk to him about his journey. So we'll start right away. How's it going?
It's great, man. I'm happy to be here.
Okay. So you have an interesting career, to say the least, at college level. People are familiar with the fact, in essence, you're in your 7th year of college, yes, although circumstances didn't allow you. It's not like you played 7 years. Yeah. So first, let's go back. High school. You're a L.A., Southern Cal guy?
Southern California,
okay.
For sure.
Where are you from?
Born in L.A. and then moved to the Inland Empire, Menifee, California when I was about 9 years old.
Okay. And you played at Eleanor Roosevelt High School, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys were very successful.
Yeah. I mean, when I got there, it was kind of like a new school. It had only been open maybe about, I want to say maybe 7 years. And they had no championships or anything in there as far as basketball was concerned. And starting my junior year, we won our first league championship, and then my senior year, we won a league and state championship as well.
Okay. So your senior year, state champs in California, a big deal. Probably more high school ball players in California anywhere in the country.
For sure.
You were heavily recruited.
Yes.
Okay. We'll talk about that whole thing another day. I'm sure there's enough to fill a couple of shows about recruiting at that level. But you wind up going to Kentucky with John Calipari. Mm-hmm. Tell us about why and how.
Well, my junior year, I was actually committed to Cal Berkeley. And the head coach, Conzo Martin, ended up leaving. He ended up resigning and signing with Missouri. And it was at the end of my senior year. And I didn't know what I was going to do after that. And Kentucky was one of the schools that came and had like a, well, it wasn't a home visit. They actually came and met me at my school. And I decided to commit. And I mean, basically with the recruiting class that was coming in, they felt like they lacked a lot of shooting, and I felt like I would fit right in, and I wanted to be a pro, so I felt like it would be the right fit.
Kentucky, well, Kentucky's turned out quite a few pros.
For sure.
Coach Cal still has the wall up, I think, with the dollar amounts of guys who've gone to the NBA. Mm-hmm. All right, so you got to Kentucky. What happened?
So, well, actually, in the state championship game, my senior year of high school, I tore my meniscus. And on my way to Kentucky, I don't know if the surgery didn't go well, if I retore my meniscus, but I had to get another surgery in October right before the season started for my freshman year. So I ended up having to redshirt my whole freshman year and then didn't get healthy until mid-season my second year. And basically just did everything I could to get in shape and produce as much as I could. And then and I had a great time there. I learned a lot for sure and had a great time.
Well, you pretty much played in every game your second year or close to it, right?
Yeah, close to it. I want to say maybe I missed like the first, I don't know how many games, maybe like the first 5 or 6 games maybe. And then after that, I played the rest of the year.
The rest of the year. Okay.
Yeah.
So you played, you had a good experience, but you were looking to move on?
Yeah, for sure. Just based off like how my body was feeling, and at Kentucky, they have a lot of players coming in every year. Not that I was like worried about competition or anything like that, but I thought I could go somewhere else and just feel valued a lot more, basically, and have more of an impact on the team. And when I got to Arizona, I felt like I definitely had that opportunity.
Okay, so you're at Kentucky. We have the transfer portal now,
yeah.
Right? Okay, so you go into the portal. Is that how it worked?
Yeah.
And you wind up at Arizona. Who else was interested?
There were a lot of schools interested. Arizona. I'm trying to remember everybody that was calling me at the time. But Arizona, San Diego State, Fresno State was actually interested at the time as well. USC. There were a lot of schools.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you wind up at Arizona. Who was your head coach?
Sean Miller.
Okay. So talk about that. You come in and what happens?
That was very interesting. When I got to Arizona, everything was great. We were gonna have a really good team. We were top 25, but right before the season started, I hurt my hip, so I had to sit out for a month before the season started, and the hip injury kind of lingered throughout the whole season. But I had a pretty good year, and I enjoyed it. Every trip that everywhere that I've been, every stop that I've had, I've learned a lot for sure.
Okay, so year one, injured, but you played.
Yes.
What happens the next year?
And then year two, I started off having a great year. Started off having a really good year. I had a 30-point game. I had a 29-point game. I was doing really well, and then few games into conference, I broke my wrist.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that was the end of that year.
For sure.
So what was that recovery like?
It was tough. Basically, going in there every day, getting treatment, going in there every day, doing rehab on my wrist, and it wasn't like any of my knee injuries or anything like that. It wasn't as mentally tough, as mentally taxing, but it was definitely a lot of work, and I wasn't able to get healthy enough to come back the end of the year, but basically had to rehab, and then Sean Miller ended up getting fired, and I entered the transfer portal again.
Okay, so Sean gets fired, and we're going to have another show about that whole thing. Winds up with another job.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, didn't one of his assistants have some legal trouble?
Yeah. From what I heard, I tried not to get too much into that. I tried to just control what I control, and just try to be the best player that I could be.
Okay, so my recollection is one of the assistant coach got charged with a crime by the feds. The head coach winds up with a job. A bunch of assistants, one at Arizona, and two others wind up doing some short jail time. Crazy time in college basketball. Well, listen, we've done 4 years of your college career.
Yeah.
We got you state champ in Cali, Kentucky with Calipari, Arizona with Sean Miller. We're not done.
Yeah,
so we're going to take a break right now and come back with more on the journey of Jamal Baker. Stay with us. Cool.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Hey, Dad, let me go out.
Welcome back, everyone. We're here on second part of today's 505 SVF show with our special guest, Jamal Baker, newly minted Lobo. And we've talked so far about your first 4 years in college.
Yeah.
So Sean Miller gets fired. You go into the portal. You had already mentioned you'd been recruited by Fresno earlier.
Yeah.
They came back.
Yeah.
How'd that go?
So, my high school coach, my freshman and sophomore year, Von Webb, he's actually an assistant right now at Fresno State. So he had been knowing Coach Hutt for a long time. So he was basically vouching for Coach Hutt for even right before I went to Arizona. So this time I was really comfortable with the decision to give him a chance and go there, really. And I had a good time. It was unfortunate that my first year I had some more knee trouble, and I sat out a couple games early in the season, and then I tried to play even while having a knee trouble. Ended up tearing my other meniscus trying to compensate.
Wow.
So I think that would have been a really good year with me and being able to play with Orlando Robinson. I think that would have been really good. But I mean, unfortunately, I wasn't able to, and but everything happens for a reason. So I had to get surgery at the end of that year, and then rehabbed all summer for last season.
Okay, so now you're in 2023.
Yeah.
You're in your 6th year. You've had a bunch of medical issues, but you're feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay. So now Lobo fans all know where you come into the picture in January of this year, where our undefeated Lobo team goes out to Fresno, is favorite, and it doesn't go so well out there.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. Start with that game. What do you remember about that game?
I just remember us being excited for the challenge. I know they were the last undefeated team in the country at the time. And I mean, me and my teammates, we were definitely just really excited for the game. And we weren't having a great year at the time, but we knew we were capable of beating really good teams. We knew we had enough talent, but it just wasn't really showing on our record. But we went out there, we competed hard, and we ended up winning.
Well, that was a tight game right down the stretch. I kind of remember a bucket or two from you at the end, huh? Yeah. Well, 1, 2, what was it? Is that where you scored all your points down the stretch?
I had some big buckets. I had some big assists down the stretch, and I mean, I'm glad I'm on this side now.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I was on this side at that game. It wasn't a fun experience, let me tell you. All right, so you're at Fresno now. You still have one more year, so you didn't get to play with the big guy.
Yeah.
Right. That was a miss. And the team we saw you come into the pit at the end of the year, the team was kind of not focused, in my opinion. I couldn't decide as a casual fan what was going on with Fresno. We saw a lot of talent. We saw some big games. Did you score 40 points in a game?
Yeah, 40 points.
Which game was that? Chicago State?
Chicago State, right at the end of conference.
Right.
Right before the conference tournament, we played against Chicago State on our senior night.
Okay. Well, you get 40, the team rolls, and then Fresno has trouble scoring sometimes during the season. It was just weird. And then we saw you at the end, and okay, so now you're at the end of year 6, but you have another year eligibility.
Yeah, that was.
So what were you thinking then?
That was crazy, man. I honestly, my first year at Fresno State, I thought it was going to be my last year. I thought I was completely done. But then after I had to sit out basically the whole year, then I knew I would have another one. But I didn't know I would have another one after that, after the 6th year. But basically after that year, I entered the transfer portal, but I didn't know that I was going to be going to another school for sure. I thought I would probably ended up just trying out for a G League team or just going overseas and playing basketball overseas. But when I got the call from New Mexico, after playing against them, and playing for Coach T. Felt at Fresno State, he was an assistant there. He kind of just broke down the opportunity for me and told me the players that were leaving and told me the opportunity that I would have. And after talking to him, after talking to Coach P, and coming up here for a visit, I knew that it would be the right fit.
Cool. So we'll get back to the New Mexico part. When you went into the portal, did other schools reach out?
Yeah, for sure. It was kind of like it was kind of a slow process. The first times I transferred, it was pretty quick. Like a lot of big schools were calling right away, and then this time it was more of a slower process because I didn't even know what I was doing. I didn't know if I was going to go to another school, so I was telling the schools that as well. I was telling them that I was deciding between going overseas or coming back to school and just seeing what the best opportunity was for me. And there were definitely some other schools, but I kind of like narrowed it down to schools that I thought I would enjoy playing for.
Okay, so we're going to talk about this. You're clearly looking, and I don't want to jump too far ahead, but you want to play pro ball, clearly. Sure. Okay, so that's a whole nother ball of wax that starts to happen during the last year, I assume. Interesting business, and we'll get to that. All right, so we are here. We filmed this show on Monday, and tonight, Monday, is the opener. You'll be watching this on Wednesday, so you'll all know what we don't yet. So we've got a game tonight. We ready?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
How's your health?
It's pretty good. Really, honestly, just using the first part of the season to really just get in basketball shape, really, to use the games to get in the rhythm and really just get to know everybody. improve our chemistry on the court. I mean, practice is definitely different than games because, I mean, practice, we're playing against our coverages all the time, and then the games, you're starting to see different people, different skill sets and things like that, and I mean, different schemes defensively. So definitely just getting out there and getting a feel for each other, understanding where everybody else likes to score, everybody else likes to do, and what their strengths are, and just going out there and just trying to execute.
Cool. All right. Well, we're going to start talking about this year's team right after the break, so stay with us. We'll be right back. Cool.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Seriously? Buckle up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hey everybody, welcome back to our final segment of today's 505 SVF program. Thanks for staying with us. We've been talking to my guest, Jamal Baker, graduate student guard at the University of New Mexico. And as we said, although this show airs on Wednesday, we're filming it Monday, and tonight's the home opener with Texas Southern. You excited?
Definitely excited, man. It's going to be a big opportunity for us to just kind of set the tone for the year, so I'm excited.
Okay, without getting into a lot of detail, this is a pretty veteran team. We got young guys, but there's a bunch of guys who have played like you, House, MASH, played big-time basketball elsewhere. Now Nelly played in the NCAA tournament a couple of times in 3 years, played for Richard's dad, Rick. What is that like? Have you ever been on a team quite like this?
No, definitely not this experienced. But, I mean, even though we all have experience, it's still up to us to put it together on the court. I mean, there's a lot of, you can see teams in the NBA that are great on paper, but just can't figure out how to put it together. And I don't think we'll have that problem because we have a lot of great guys and a lot of selfless guys. But it's still going to be a process to us putting it together and getting better every day.
Right. I mean, we've been joking about it with the play that we've seen already of the freshmen, both True Washington and JT. They're solid ball players. They're going to contribute. Sure. So now you start to count on your fingers. Well, there's 5 players on the court, and we got 9, 8, and how many guys are going to play? How does that work, or does just playing time take care of itself?
Man, like you said, it takes care of itself for sure. Everybody, like you said, everybody can have an impact on this team. So, it just comes down to really whoever is impacting winning that day. We have a lot of guys that can do a lot of different things, and it's going to be a lot of different guys on any given night for sure. So, we just have to go out there and play hard and all sacrifice and not be worried about the minutes, because I mean the ultimate goal is really just going out there and trying to win, and then I mean everything else, all of the individual stuff will take care of itself.
Right. Well, this is your third year in the Mountain West, basically, so you're really familiar with what's going on out there. Now, we know for sure that San Diego State's going to be tough. Boise with the big guy Degenhardt and Max, they seem to always be tough. They've added a couple of components. Who knows? Nevada, Colorado State. What do you think of who's one of the toughest players that you match up against in the Mountain West? Who's still here?
I mean, you've named them really. I mean, just about every team has a tough player that presents a challenge, really. That presents a challenge, and I mean, we're good enough to beat any team in the country, really. We just have to go out there and just be a unit, really. And I mean, like I said, we're capable of beating anybody, and we just have to go out there and play to our best ability, and we can do it.
Cool. So, all right. So tonight's the opener. Texas Southern, been in the tournament the last 3 years, so they got to be able to play a little bit. Granted, they're on a schedule where they play for money. The Lobos, Virginia, Creighton. It's a death march until their conference, and they're from a one-bid league. They have to win the tournament, but win their conference tournament to get in. But they're good. Yeah. They're good. You can't sleep. Now, what we've heard, maybe it's rumors, maybe not, that the Lobos have so much depth, we might see a press. We might see a zone.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay. Yeah. So maybe. That's a maybe.
For sure.
So Lobo fans need to come to the games. See, it's going to be exciting, no?
For sure.
So you got a prediction?
Hey, man. We're going to go out there. We're going to play hard and play to win.
Okay. So typical. He's got a career in broadcasting. Last thing. We'll take a minute. After UNM, you want to play Pro Bowl?
Yes.
Yeah. What do you think that looks like? Is the whole world's open, Europe, South America, G League, that type stuff?
The whole world is open, honestly. I'm going to just go out there and, play to my best abilities this year, work as hard as I can, and just put my best foot forward, and then just see where I end up.
Okay, cool. Well, listen, thanks for being here today. I really enjoyed it. We're really excited. I remember cursing you out the last 2 minutes of the game in Fresno. I'm like, this guy. Now we get to root for him. So first, Lobo fans, get to the games. We need that arena filled. It's one of the iconic venues in the country. Let's get it going. And once again, 505 SVF, we are in our March to $1 million. And it starts on the ground level. $20 a month. It's like a breakfast at Starbucks. Pass on a coffee. $20 a month. We can raise a lot of money. We can support our student athletes. We can continue what's happening on the UNM basketball court, and we can pass that success along to all other athletic teams at UNM. This is our team. We don't have a pro team here in Albuquerque. I don't have to tell everyone that. The Lobos are our deal here. So let's get behind them. Let's go to 505sports.org. That's 505sports.org. And I want to thank you for everything you guys have done up till now. Hopefully we see you at the games. You know where I am. If you get to the games, I'm right courtside. Come down and say hi. Again, I want to say thank you to Mr. Baker. Best of luck on the season. Let's kick some ass.
Thank you.
And we'll see you guys all back here next week. Same time, same station, 505sports.org. Check it out. Come on board. Why not us? Thanks for being here.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. ProView Networks.